do some things here before I start. Okay, before I set the camera. Okay, I'm gonna put you right here. So like, yeah, I'm just gonna give it a few minutes for some people to enter the room while I set up my station. We're gonna stream like this today. I decided to stream different ways. It looks like a lot of people do not like my stream style from before, and they prefer this. They come like this, but that's okay. That's completely fine. Let people come in. I'll give it a few minutes. Live. What's up, guys? So today I decided I'm going to talk about this current thing. I feel it's really interesting to me anyway. I'm not sure about anybody else, but for me it is what I'm about to talk about. I'll give it a few minutes for 1 or 2 people to enter, and I'll explain about the topic, why this topic is so interesting. Like I said, I'm not sure if anybody's going through this thing right here, but I know I am. It's affected me in many different ways, and it has an impact on a lot of people. It's amazing how one thing can change your vision, and how many things can change your vision, what it was before and what it made you think differently. And I'll explain that why. So like the topic today is how do Pakistanis feel fighting the TLP and knowing that Israel fought Hamas. I'll tell you why. It'll make completely sense. After India funded Afghanistan, and their sources to prove it, just to attack on us, and we fought like on the 9th, I believe, on the 9th, Pakistan fought Afghanistan to save its people and killed many people of Afghanistan in return. Then, of course, Afghanistan's media and Indians' media made an announcement that, oh, we're bombing people. But that's the same announcement Israel got towards Gaza, when Gaza is the one who set the attack to attack Israel. Now, you ask anybody, and how my friends said, oh, we were giving aid, we were providing food to Afghanistans, and we've been doing that. But I'm like, my friend, there's sources. Please just say that this time you did condemn in the attack. And my friend's like, well, okay, I surrender. Yeah, you did, right? You wanted to attack us. That's exactly how Hamas was on October 7th. It condemned the attack when Iran funded for the war. It condemned the attack on the Israelis. Now, how do I feel about this? So the TLP thing here is because the Asif Munir cannot take this bullshit anymore for being called a terrorist country, this, that, when we didn't even condemn the attack. Do you have a shawarma, Ovali? Hi there, how you doing? Come on in, guys. Any questions I'll be answering today? How you doing? Join in. Did I have a shawarma today? No, I haven't had a shawarma in like a long time. I haven't had it in a while. To be frankly honest with you, I haven't. Why? Did you have one? Did you have a shawarma today? All messages. I hope somebody had a shawarma today, because I want one. I want a shawarma. I haven't had one in like the longest freaking time. So if anybody has a shawarma, please be my guest and tell me which one should I get in a couple of days. Free Israelites from Dangmush Khan. What is that? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that, buddy? Dangmush Khan, what the heck do you mean by that? So, okay, back to the topic. Enough fun. I'll answer questions, all of them, good, bad, everything at the end of the stream. I always do that to you guys. Okay, so Asif Munir could not take this bullshit anymore, being called a terrorist, knowing we didn't condemn in the attack, but the media is telling us we're the terrorist country, including Palestinians themselves, Syrian people, seeing all this announcement calling us a terrorist country when we didn't even condemn in this attack. What gives? So a lot of the people thought about to themselves that we are getting the same judgment that the Israelis got for October 7th. And we are carrying the same mud, same situation when they tried to defend themselves. And like, I ask anyone, like, how are we supposed to defend ourselves? What are we supposed to do? Like, what should we do? Hey, Emma Smith, how you doing? Right? Like, That's all I could ask myself. So what should we do? How should we defend ourselves? I mean, as of today, Pakistan is a country now, and of course people call it like, oh, Pakistan's a fake country, just like how they say Israel's a fake country. It's there, it's history today. I'm from America, how you doing? But my parents are Pakistani. They moved here in the 1960s, so I'm sharing a little bit of facts and differences. How you doing? FDJ Smith, how you doing? I'm from America. How are you? Have to have a hot tub. Hot tub. Hot tub. I miss jacuzzi, man. I have a jacuzzi. I sat there a couple of times, but I haven't done it in a while. I miss that vibe. But late night showers, I always enjoy those. I love that over a hot tub any day. But anywho, I like black women. No, I have many Christian friends. I grew up around Christians being a child. In fact, in my early 1990s, I was the only Muslim student, me and my sister, back in the days of New York and Averill Park. There were many Christians. We used to have sleepovers, invite them over for Ramadan, whatever. We used to have fun with families. We were the only Muslim little girls in the town. We had great fun, and we would invite them for feast and everything. And I have an autism, but I'm not handicapped, and I have I'm Taurus, and I've got Nirvana, Amazon, got another. How you doing? Actually, Pakistani and Afghanistani must be united because of, but you see, that's everybody believes in unite. You know, everybody does, but when it comes to really understanding your situation, that's when people back away and don't say anything. Like the Syrians never said anything. Syrians support Modi, and Syrians don't like Israel either. When it comes to really understanding the situation, I've seen many Palestinians curse at my face. Oh, like, look at what you did this to people, that to people. But then you think for a minute, this is not Israel, you know, these are my people. Then, like, why do you need my support? You don't want me to unite with other people. You're cursing at me, but you want my country to unite. Then I'm going to make a reconsideration. I'm going to make a reconsideration that, okay, maybe they're not the bad in our tough time, and it's a fact. When Pakistan got attacked, nobody raised a voice. Nobody said anything. Not one damn thing. That's exactly how Israel felt when it was trying to defend itself. And it didn't, nobody raised a voice. Out of topic, but have you read the Quran? This is not the space for that, thank you. But like, this is not the topic today about the Quran. I don't talk about things related to that because I have all people on here. And all I'm going to say, the Quran, whether it's the Christian's Bible or the Torah, Quran has nothing to do with how nations interpretate their religious aspects. Look at Russia. Why is it so loyal with, what do you call it, Syria, Iran, but it has nothing to do with the United States? That's something for you to think about. Have you still hate Christian in the great Jewish Middle East? What are you talking about, bro? That's not the topic today, neither. No, I don't. I've been political partying online for the past 2 years to build peace in the Middle East. You have your opinion, I have mine. Okay, but like, that's not the topic today. The topic is today that how do Pakistanis relate to the Israelis? That's the topic today. I'm not talking about religion. This is not the religion topic. It's the situation. And the situation is, when Israel needed help, nobody was there. Israel had to defend itself, and nobody gave Israel a voice. That's the same situation that Pakistanis went through, and we had no voice. Nobody gave us a voice. Nobody, and including Saudi Arabia, who we did a deal with. We did an agreement, a security agreement. Nobody gave a voice. And some of the leaders are learning that now, that in order to survive, you have to break boundaries. That's why they're called terrorists. You just have to break boundaries, and that's exactly what Israel did. Broke the boundaries. It had to survive. I mean, if you were in your nation's situation, what would you do? Would you play by the rules or break boundaries? Let me ask you that. If you needed to survive, what would you do? Peace is a relative thing. Western side, they mean domination, that. And that's your opinion. Okay, why are you guys like arguing each other? That's not like the topic today, but why are you disagreeing with each other? Peace is a relative thing, westernized, and they mean domination by that. Okay, this is not that topic. I'm talking about how Israel and Pakistan were in the same situation when, what you call it, they fought Hamas and we fought the TLP along with the war previously with Afghanistan. I'm disagreeing with you. Okay, what's your opinion that you're disagreeing with me? What's your question? What is your question? I want to know your question that you're disagreeing. Are you going to say something? Riley? Why do you disagree? And Israel's not a legal entity. We should follow the rules. If you don't like it, if you can leave. Okay, first of all, that's the same thing that people say about Pakistan too. That it's not a real country when British was linked to that too. British got involved, and that exactly how there's Indian lands, the Palestinian people say, oh, it's their lands. The British was linked to that too, but when it comes to cultural rules, you can't possibly say that Jews never existed. They existed, it's just they never had their own state. Iran and Iraq, two free I just said that. After the Ottoman Empire, there were Jews. They've always been Jews. They lived in Muslim countries, but since due to the massacres in the country, which you can read on your own, that's the only reason the British granted them a state. Do you think if they were safe and they got their rights in Muslim countries, do you really think they would need a state? They would stay in their original homes, which is why there's like Yemenite Jews, Moroccan Jews, Iraqi Jews. If these places kept them well, they wouldn't need to move. Pakistani people who lived there for thousands of years. Pakistanis didn't have a state, but they were living on a land on the South Asian side. They don't just choose, they have a state. They have a state because the British needed to get them out because of the Jewish massacres. Radical Islam is why the world needs help. Okay, you guys are getting off topic. That is not my topic today. The topic today is, bring your questions, that why do Pakistan and Israel stand in the same line? Radical Islam, there's many people who are being dumbo-headed in supporting this idea. Look at Russia. Russia doesn't believe in secular Western culture. It would rather support violence and radical extremist groups than to support Western or anything related to, like, a good life. Because it was part of that life, if you study Russia's history. Before Orthodox Christianity became a little bit secular in the country, they themselves had a society like that. In Orthodox Christianity, which is a famous war took place between Jews and Christians. Look it up. Look it up, read about it. Why did Jews and Christians fight each other in Russia? That'll give you an estimated answer. What was it about? Because Russia was never a secular country. It became a secular country throughout the years. And it supports this extremism, violence. It doesn't care. That's why it likes Iran. That's why it likes Syria. All their ideology. It doesn't care. Its lifestyle, its views is the same. And these are the things that people needed to monitor. Since Jews, there's only one Judaism and one Jewish state. If they have like 6, 7 states, they will understand the situation very clearly. Because if they had, like, let's say they had 10 states, right? 10 Jewish nations. What if the Mizrahi Jews didn't want to follow the Ashkenazi Jews and they wanted to present Judaism in their own way? Or what if the Mizrahi Jews didn't want to follow the Orthodox Jews and they wanted to present Judaism in their own way? Are you saying you're a tourist? What does tourist have to do with anything? Riley? What does tourist have to do with anything? These are facts, how nations work. What does tourist have to do with anything? Do you not study biological history and facts of every nation's background? That has nothing to do with touring. Next question. Okay, so for 2 years, Israel, answer to my question though. What, ISIS? What's your question? I just did. You asked me about the Quran and all these other stuff, radical Islam. I just told you. The radical people, there are many nations who support this stupid radical ideology. I just told you them. There's Russia. Russia who supports it because Russia is anti-West. Russia doesn't like West culture. China is an atheist country. It doesn't like the West either, so it's going to support this radical, ridiculous ideology. Russia supports no religion. China supports no religion. Russia's Orthodox Christianity. It hates West culture, so it's going to stand with radical Islam. Stupid it may sound, but yes, the people may not like it, but it doesn't care. That's where the Jews and the Christian fought in the early years in the Russian war. Read about it. That's something interesting that will win your attention. That why did they fight? Russia became secular later. Now I'm going to go back to the topic. I hope people understand that today's topic is not about this stuff. If you want me to open up a stream, specific topic, I will open it for you guys another day. But you would have to let me know what is the topic so I can bring it to the air before I get banned from YouTube. Okay, so what is the consequence? The consequence is if Afghanistan, let's say Afghanistan does shake hands with Hamas, sources have been coming that Afghanistan wants to move with Hamas. Now what is Pakistan going to do? Either Pakistan has no choice but to shake hands with Israel because Hamas is not a thing that Pakistan wants to deal with, and Hamas is something also that Israel just fought. Now if you want to defend yourself, what should you do? What situation should you be in order to survive? And that's exactly the judgments Pakistan got, that Asif Munir is to a point that it just does not want to deal with the Palestinian narrative anymore. It terminated everything related to them. That would be the TLP organization. It just got terminated. All the mosques were locked. Everything was locked. You can't go anywhere. You can't go to a single mosque openly. And anybody who protests against Israel, you would be executed. You'd be executed from the country. Country policy. You talk about Israel, you're going to be executed from the country. Now people wonder, why is that allowed? Let me tell you why. I already told you. Because we've been in that situation and nobody raised a voice for us. And for the first time, the leaders are understanding that for the first ever time that Israel was not wrong. It had the right to defend itself, just like how Pakistanis are trying to defend themselves. What are they supposed to do? Just sit there and take the bait? Get themselves killed because of history or whatever? That's not how real life works. This is current history today that people are running from. Native Americans had a link too. Remember when I reviewed about the Native Americans? How did America become America without the Native Americans? This is today. And some people are running from it. Time never reverses itself for anyone. If it did, the Jews would return to the Levant, the history they want. Native Americans would have their lands back. And South Asian people will go back to the days when India had land. And Ukraine would not be Ukraine today without Russia. Because Ukraine was a part of Russia. This is all history. All history. And all these organizations who are divided into half particles, you need to understand that some people are in the same situation. That's exactly what Israel and Pakistan had to deal with. Pakistan didn't see it before. Pakistan really didn't see it before and looked at like, oh, Israel's lying, things like, no. But actually, when it went through itself, a lot of the visions have changed for people, especially after the judgments they got, the criticism they got, almost anything you could possibly think of. And the media showing itself that, oh, look, you bomb people, you guys are terrorists, you kill people, you bomb children, blah, 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 blah. But you know what? Sometimes you have to break the rules in order to survive. If you are not going to break the rules in order to survive, what do you expect to do? And a lot of the Pakistani people, they were sad, yes, of course, that they had to fight Afghanistan, just like Israeli people were sad that they had to fight their neighbors. But in order to survive, would you just sit there and be a goody-goody, not say anything? I don't think so. I don't think so. No. Now, same situation the people of Gaza are seeing today. They were crying about, media was crying about Israel before, like, oh, Israel's the bad guy. Now, what are the Gazans supposed to do when Hamas wants to kill them? It wants to terminate them, abuse them, nothing. That some of the Arab countries just threw it away. They can't handle it anymore. They said it, that we are not going to reconstruct Gaza if Hamas is there. Now, what should the Gazan people do? And Israel's been told, like, no, you are going to sign a coalition. You're not going to go in there anymore. So what are the Gaza citizens supposed to do? They want to be free from Hamas. What should they do? They have no weapons, no nothing, nothing at all to protect themselves. Nothing. So they call for help to America. Like, hey, please get us out of here. Get us out of here. Get Hamas out of the land. Get us out of here. He's killing us. The military agency is killing us after the agreement. Now, American military is going to go down in there and rescue them out. Bottom line is sometimes you have to do this. Now, look, the TLP organization, you don't want to know what they were doing? Why Pakistan murdered so many? I'm sure some people saw the report. And some content creators blabbing, oh, look, Pakistan killed its own people. Pakistan killed its own people. 500-600 people died. Pakistan killed its own people. Probably seen reports like that. It killed the TLP organization who was teaching to hate people. Teach little kids how to hate, hold guns, what the mullah is doing. That's exactly what happened to the Gazan children. Now, the military saw that, and the military did not like that on the Pakistan ground. So it locked all the mosques, it locked all places, and these TLP agencies, they were forced to be executed, killed. So when media gave reports, those were the TLP preachers who got killed in Pakistan, that Pakistan killed themselves. Now, if you were in that situation, and you knew that somebody from your own, not just Muslims, your own is teaching hate in your country, and kids are picking up a bad influence from it, would you let them live because you believe they deserve to live because it's your own? Or do you believe this is bad for the country, they need to be punished before the violence grows? And that's what Pakistan did. Even though the citizens are not happy, but they do not want the TLP organization. They do not trust the TLP organization. They fear it's linked to the Taliban. It's linked to all these places. And Afghanistan, if it gets Hamas, it's definitely not going to step forward. It's going to take a change, a big change that the world may not like. It even makes shake hands with Israel for the sake to destroy Hamas, because Pakistan is done. It is done. There were many protests, many things around in Pakistan that people didn't like, but it has to be done. And that's exactly what Israel went through its people protesting on streets that Netanyahu, why'd you go over there and abolish all these people from Gaza? You are a war criminal. You don't care about us. You're wasting your money in war, blah, 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 for 2 years. But if it's not going to move forward to the other line, what if they wanted to bomb more on your space? Then what would you do? What if Afghanistan, which is not done, by the way, Afghanistan is not done warring Pakistan at all. It's getting ready with India's support for round 2, another attack. Right now, it's stuck on a ceasefire, just like how Israel's stuck on Gaza's ceasefire. They're both stuck on ceasefires. Pakistan and also Israel on Gaza ceasefire, Pakistan for the Afghanistan ceasefire. Now, what if they break the ceasefire? What do you expect them to do? What should they do? Ask my fans. What do you want them to do? Should the people just get killed because people feel that this is fake history, so all those people should die because people believe it's fake history? But that's like saying the American history is fake too, because the natives will own that land. How old is America? Ukraine was part of Russia. So this is history today. And it's funny how people are not realizing all this stuff. And in this situation, it's not a fun one. And I say this again, that if Israel fights Hamas now, which Pakistan's dealing with the TLP, they might unite. They might not make an agreement. If Afghanistan jumps in and takes Hamas on its side, well, TLP it's already dealing with, there could be changes, there could be people joining on each other's side, and they might even make agreements with each other. Like, okay, we're ready to move together because we are facing the same exact situation. And it is. They are. The media's bombing them with fame. Everybody's calling them a fake country. Everybody's insulting them that you guys are a terrorist organization, just like Israel was called a terrorist organization just for fighting on October 7th. Just for bombing, they were told that you killed babies. That's exactly what Pakistan was told too, that you bombed all these people, blah, blah, blah. You killed all these people, you killed your own people. But in order to survive, sometimes you have to do these things. You don't do these things because you want to. You do these things because you have to survive. And if you're not going to survive, how are your people going to be safe? That's exactly what Pakistan's going through, and that's exactly what Israel had to deal with. It's no lie. Like I said, any of my fans, my toppest of all fans, what do you expect the countries to do? What? What? What should they do? They can't go anywhere. Nobody from the country is going to take their passport. Oh, guess what? We're going through a warfare problem. Can we stay in your country now? Suddenly out of nowhere? Nobody's going to worry about that. They'll be like, okay, you can stay for a couple of months. That's fine, but you can't have a permanent residency. That doesn't work anywhere. That, oh, guess what? My house is going into warfare. Can I stay in your country now? It has to be done. It has to be done. We gave aid, like when India provided aid. That's how Israel provided aid. When India gave stuff, that's how Israel gave stuff. But Israel got judged for it. And that's exactly what Israel gave aid to the Gazan people, and India gave aid to Afghanistani people. And when it comes to facts, Pakistan has helped Afghanistan the most. The most. Their military is nowhere close to being strong when it comes to Pakistan's military. There's history to read about that. I believe that how the Afghans got free from US and Russia because Pakistani people fought for them. But as of now, even after doing so much, that you are going to take money to kill your own, and India gave the money that, hey, I want you to go kill these terrorists, blah, 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 they're your own, just kill them. That's exactly what Iran did. Iran paid Hamas to go attack Israel when Israel has provided the Gazan people stuff. Jobs, future, all the medical treatment that they need. Same situation. And the judgments Israel carried, that's what Pakistan carried too. Fighting. And they feel it today, that Israel's not wrong. And in fact, the most funniest thing of all, now people are calling Pakistani people Zionist. That, oh, you are a Zionist now. You're no different than the IDF. You're a Zionist now. You're no different than the IDF. How funny is that? And when I listen to that, I just say one answer. Okay, it's fine. We're a Zionist. That's okay. We're a Zionist because we need to protect this place. We're a Zionist. That is absolutely fine. They want to compare us to the IDF. That is absolutely fine. They want to say we're traitors and killers. Absolutely fine. And I ask all my fans who are listening to me, what would you do if you needed to survive? Would you sit there and let somebody bomb your space? Or would you fight back? What would you do? Right now, people are giving threats to America, like places like China. Russia wants to see America go down. Of course, America's a powerful country. America's been powerful. It knows how to set its standards. So it's not going to take the bait for anyone. But that's how some stuff work. Any questions about today's topic? I know many people do not feel comfortable with me today, what I talked about, but it needs to be said because it's about to get hot in this topic. And based on the situation, a lot of the people are going to join the Abraham Accords. They don't have a choice. They've discovered. Remember, like how Iran attacked Qatar in Iraq? Nobody said nothing. So the Arab countries know that Iran can do anything. The only people who supports them is places like Syria, Russia, the Palestinians, Libyans, Lebanese people, they support them. They don't care. They're one. And even Pakistan understands now that even after the attack it took from Afghanistan, people rather would lift up the other side, but not Pakistan. Same for Israel. People would rather lift up the world, but not Israel. It's off the favorite list as a country. Like, nah, who cares about Israel? It knows what to do. That's exactly how people see Pakistan. Like, oh, whatever. They're shitty. Who cares? We got attacked. Nobody say anything. Israel got attacked. Same exact concept. But you know, sometimes, no matter who disagrees with me, if you are in a situation, you have no choice but to break the rules. You don't break the rules because you want to. You break the rules because you have to due to situation. Whether some people like you or don't like you. Okay, let's move away from one. I'll give an example. If somebody was in jail, somebody sent you to jail for something you didn't commit, but they entrapped you in it, and you were sent to jail for custody, almost anything you can think of that the police is like, no, you have to pay a price, but you know you didn't do it. Now, would you be mad, reasoning with the police and want a lawyer? Like, look, I did not do this. This is the person who told me to do this, and here's all the details. Exact same question here. How would you survive? If you're in jail and you don't know how to survive, you don't know what to say, what to do, you would react the same way. Like, hey, I didn't do this. I didn't have a choice. They made me do this. Same here. When people do not have a choice, they break the rules because they don't have a choice. When you have choices, you make a reconsideration what to do and what not to do. And that's the same concept here. And I guarantee that the ceasefire between Afghanistan and Israel that's being announced, Pakistan and Israel ceasefire concept in front of the world, which is why Pakistan is not eligible to say something for Israel just yet because it's dealing with Afghanistan. It's either going to unite people and some people are going to be divided. I promise that. This Abraham records, no, let's all be friends and play happily ever after. There's going to be some disagreements, some new relationships, some old relationships affected after these agreements. There's going to be a lot of changes after the Abraham Accords. And I know the TLP organization, the Hamas organizations, both of them are villains to destroy the Abraham Accords. And both of these countries fought these agencies, the TLP organization, Hamas organization. And they suffered the same exact criticism. Exact criticism. And I said it. If you were in this situation, and I don't think any of my fans answered this question, what would you do, man? What? Anything? All right. If nobody has questions for me today, I think I can close the stream. If there's a specific question you guys want to ask me, I know a lot of the people were not satisfied for what I said, but like I said, some things you cannot change. You're forced to break the rules for survival. You don't do it because you just want the glory. You do it because you need to survive. Let's see, any questions? I'm going to type it again. Well, any questions, my fans? Questions? Questions? Any questions? This would be the time to ask me your questions before I exit out. I just know the TLP organization was no different than Hamas. They would preach the radical ideology. They would teach the children how to hate even your own family. So the country caught it and they executed them. That's how Hamas was too. Teaching the Palestinian children that how to hold guns, how to become radicalized, anything mean you could possibly think of. So when the country finally discovered what this radical ideology was like, they got executed in Pakistan. And after locking up mosques and completely taking them off of social media, there were like massive protests, massive things, just like how there were things in Hamas versus Israel. There were protests from both directions. Yes, same here too. But in certain circumstances, when I show footages to the journalist, that what did these people started dressing like, what did they wear? They started wearing like these hideous masks on their faces, like hideous masks in Pakistan. And my journalist partner who works for the government, he did not picture that. I'm like, dude, this is dangerous for parents. Parents are going to be so terrified being around their own kid. You do not want this in your country. Hey, Arun. Hey. Hey. That was just sharing, like, facts, how things... So the TLP organization, Arun, do you know who the TLP is? You want to tell some of my fans? How dangerous is the TLP who sells the Hamas propaganda but in TLP format? I was just sharing that how the children in Pakistan going to mosque, they say you're supposed to pray in a mosque, teaching how to wear a freaking mask and like be sabotaged and hate people, and the country got scared. The country got scared that, okay, it's time to lock up the mosque. No more, man. They need to be fired. And that's exactly what happened. They got fired. Asif Munir fired them, executed them, that, okay, this cannot continue anymore. It just can't. Maybe the past couple of years it worked. Okay, people got radicalized, but not as radicalized as the Palestinians, which is why Israel had to war them. When you take your radical glasses off and look from another vision, life feels very, very different. And many people wanted to help them, give them a future, that some of the Arab countries are ready to build the land back. But due to Hamas, it's not going to work because Hamas is going to terminate them too. It's like saying when you want to free the Palestinians, they can never be free until Hamas is there. Hey, Arun, my friend, you want to tell my fans what is the TLP organization in Pakistan, how dangerous they are? Bet you heard of them. The TLP organization who sells the propaganda to be radicalized. They all got busted. Asif Munir killed them all. And they are no longer allowed to be in the parliament. They're completely terminated from the Pakistan political party. They are terminated and they are no longer allowed to show their faces anywhere. Maryam Nawaz terminated them. Asif Munir terminated them. All these people terminated their parties, and their leaders are not even allowed to say one word regarding their termination. Not one word. It's finished. Finished. And the mosques, nobody know when the mosques are going to open up again. Nobody. Now, when people ask me from Pakistan that why are we being punished, you're not being punished because of Israel. You're being punished because this is not good for the country. And Pakistan knows that it's not like Syria, Libya, Iraq, the most dangerous countries on the planet. Most dangerous countries on the planet. And it's not going to take it to their level. No. No matter how much. If a preacher tells you that it wants to kill your democracy, it's taking your freedom, everything you could possibly think of that Pakistan used to be before the radicalization, and people figure that out. Yeah, it's going to get mad. It wants to weaken the democracy. And Asif Munir don't want that. If you're going to get benefits from other countries in a trade, but the TLP organization wants itself to be paid over the country, that's when you know these organizations are playing. Okay, whose questions next? You were still busy with empty things. There is no power to defeat Muslims, and the great Turkish army is on alert. Oh, I wouldn't be surprised for Turkey. It's all the Gulf states who support the West. You were still busy empty things. There's no power to defeat the Muslims. It depends. Like the UK, I put that on public information. The UK Muslims who protested, they were the TLP organization, Pakistani Muslims. And I posted a lot of sources. Who is the TLP organization that Asif Munir, a Pakistani leader of Pakistan, an owner of Pakistan, who executed these Muslims? You got to pay attention to their organizations. And that's one organization. TLP is an organization just like Hamas. Hamas is the dead enemy of Israel, and TLP is the dead enemy of Pakistan that just got executed. All that billboard that you heard on the news, oh look, Pakistan killed its own people. Pakistan killed, they were the TLP organization that got executed. Executed. The TLP organization are the organization who tried to murder Christians. They got executed. They were teaching hate ideologies against the military. Pakistan military into the mosque. They got executed. It's game over. You have to study the nation and every single detail about the organizations. If you don't study about the organizations, you're going to feel like a lost person. Oh, it's a Muslim. Yeah, but what organization is linked to the group I named too? Hamas. TLP, nobody knew about. That's another organization who teaches radical extremists. And now people are fighting each other to get away from the radical extremization. You have to study. And right now, Turkey, yes, I can expect something from Turkey because Saudi Arabia is debating it right now that Turks and Qatar can rebuild Hamas back up. That's a big move. It's no ordinary move. It's a really big move. And people already fear that Gaza's peace plan is about to crash within the next 1 or 2 weeks. We see the cause. Anybody can rebuild Hamas back up if it has its original allies. And that's what you need to study. Who are Hamas allies? It's not Muslims. There's many nations. There's 57. But not all 57 nations are linked to the group. Turkey, yes. Qatar, yes. Syria, yes. And Syria has 2 reasons. In order to make Syria free and in the United States allies, Syria has to let go of its agreements with Russia and Iran. Now, Russia and Iran are not in Israel favor allies, are they? You know that. I know that. Everybody knows that. So taking Syria is not going to be as simple as it looks. Syria has to let go of its disagreements with Iran and Russia, even though the United States wants it, to weaken Iran and Russia. It's not simple. Lebanon, I don't know. Iraq is on its own little journey so far. Not much about Iraq. Kuwait, I haven't heard too much yet. But these two, 100%. Qatar and Turkey is really, you just guys gotta monitor. You have to monitor. And Pakistan can't do much in Israel's favor just yet until it's free from Afghanistan and it's free from the TLP war, which is starting because Afghanistan just announced, which is not confirmed yet, pray it doesn't, that it's going to support Hamas and open Hamas agency in Afghanistan. Now, that's a win for Afghanistan to become more powerful. It already has the Taliban, but it's also going to take Hamas, which is no good. That's a dangerous sign. I'll leave it right there. So you have to study all these organizations, and all these organizations are the ones that are preaching shit into other countries. The TLP organizations is the organization that preached in UK, that big protest of Pakistani Muslims. Note what they're dressed like, saying like, singing like. Those were the TLP organization, Pakistani Muslims, who just got executed from their own country. Any other questions? Before I close out the stream, this will be the time to ask me another question before I close it out. And all I'm going to say, monitor this week or next week. A lot of changes you are going to see. Some people are going to unite. Some people are going to divide. Some people are going to have new relationships. Some people are going to move forward with other nations with new relationships. A lot needs to be seen. You just need to make yourself prepared after this Gaza round 2 thing and Abraham Eckert's coming into the line. You're going to see some new nations unite. Some current nations make new relationships who are already part of the circle but don't want to be part of the circle anymore. They might make new relationships. A lot of changes are coming. And you need to know how and what way they're going to work as the time flies. You study, you will know. If you're just going to watch the media and assume almost anything, you're not going to understand the puzzle. And there's a whole puzzle playing. And it's called Be Against the West. These places like Hamas, TLP. Why did they fight each other? They fight each other. Let's minus Israel for a second. They fight each other because these nations, these agencies, TLP and Hamas, they're anti-West. But Pakistan, the country, like the leaders, they support the West. And they want to move more towards the West. Israel is the West. So the country leaders, when they figure out their ideologies, what are they doing into the country itself, they're not going to play nice. No. You will be terminated. And that's exactly what Pakistan did. Just like Israel, It terminated his people who's going to speak against the US and things like that in the country. That there's a new law being passed in Pakistan from Maryam Nawaz and Asif Munir. Those who speak against the West or Israel, you're going to be executed from the country to its own people. Their own people, yeah. Order to its own people. And if people on my page say that that is slavery, no, it's not slavery. Let me tell you that much. If the country can let you into their countries to have a future, it is your responsibility to respect them in your own country as well, or never leave. Simple answer. Very simple answer. Any other questions before I close this out? We good today? I hope everybody's good. Any questions? I hope everybody enjoyed. And yes, like I said, if there's a specific topic you guys want to talk to my team and my members about, there's many. I have Iranians, I have Indians, I have Israelis, I have Americans, somewhat Pakistanis. This will be your place to really talk with each other and discuss stuff with each other. Oh, hi, I have a Palestinian supporter in Turkey. What is your question? Okay, what do you know? Arun, keep an eye out. So what's your question for me, dear Palestinian supporter? I want a question, not icons. Question, not Allahu Akbar. I want a question. What is your question? You're only going to come into the server if you have a real question. What is your question? Okay. If you're not going to answer a question, you can't enter the community. You need to answer the question. What is your question? Question. One last time, dear one. Put you there. Question. Okay. Spam. Thank you, Arun. Okay, you're leaving. Bye-bye. We're not going to have them anymore. He's gone. Okay, I think that is good. If anybody does not have any questions for me, like I said, just monitor this week. Lot to come. Share your own thoughts. Have your own vision ready. And there's going to be changes. There's going to be new visions and new things. Some nations are going to unite. Some nations make new relationships. Some may change their thoughts. You are about to find out as the week flies with Abraham Eckers. And nobody knows what the story is going to be. Even though some nations are walking on the same road, but they haven't united yet. They're walking on the same damn road, but not united. So stay tuned, guys. A lot to be discovered throughout this week. Any other questions before I close the streams? Please speak out. Other than that, feel free to join my community. My members have, like I said, I have Iranians, Indians, Israelis, Americans, Arabs, mixed people, people from Morocco, everybody. You guys come in and share your opinion. If there's a specific topic that you guys want to talk to me about, then you come on in and I'll see your subject and I will see from there if this is eligible to talk in the air without YouTube banning my topic, because I have to share my topics based on the YouTube guidelines. So other than that, feel free to enter and enjoy the show. Take care, guys. Till next time, I'll have more reports for you next week to see how everybody's doing. How's everything coming along on social media? Pretty much everything. So stay tuned till like next week. I know I stream twice a week. My videos are okay. I don't really do videos because I don't know what documentary would suit right, because I talk about mixed topics. I don't talk about one. I talk about mixed topics on here. And right now, we just need to stay tuned what's about to happen. And that's the best I can say. Take care, guys. And I'm going to exit this out. And feel free to join my Discord. Come on in. Take care.